Hey everyone, this is Kevin the Apptrepreneur. Before we begin, let me just say if you hear something in the background, it's because, well, I'm at that job that I got and occasionally announcements are made over the speakerphone. But I figured this was important enough that during my break, I could comment on it. And so this has to be only 10 minutes. But Uber is introducing a new hourly rate for longer multi stop trips. In fact, this new thing they're working on, this could make you as much as $50 an hour, which, look, I'm not going to lie, that's not terrible. That's actually really good money. And if you could do that pretty consistently throughout the day, well, then this might not necessarily be a terrible thing to do. But we're going to have to look at the details and see exactly what this entails because, of course, with Uber, I'm suspicious of everything because, it's my brand or whatever you want to say. But anyway, let's look. So, at first, they're talking about, in this article about how the ride hailing business is pretty much at rock bottom because of the C virus and everything. But Uber's introducing a new feature at riders who might need to take longer trips with multiple destinations. And according to the article, using the new hourly function, riders can set the amount of time the trip should take, thereby locking in a flat hourly rate for the duration of the ride. Uber has allowed for multiple destinations in one trip since 2017. This is not new to us. But the addition of an hourly rate for these longer multi stop rides is a new approach. Uber seems to be angling for the type of rider who may have once taken public transportation to run multiple errands, but now might be avoiding it due to the pandemic, which is true. Because people were using Uber to do multiple runs and errands and things like that, but now with everything that's going on, who wants to trust it? So what they're basically trying to do is they're trying to give the rider a deal. Now, the way this is going to work, at least as far as I understand, the rider is definitely going to get a deal. They're going to get a much bigger deal than the driver, but the driver will make a little bit more money in most circumstances. So here's how it works. In a statement, Uber's, well, okay, that's actually not it. Here's where the meat is. Riders will be charged $50 an hour for this new hourly feature and will be asked to select how long the trip will last before confirming the ride. The customer will end up paying for the time that they selected, even if the trip actually takes less time. And I'm assuming, personally, if this is longer than what they had originally selected, you will probably get paid more too. They can input up to 3 destinations and rates will exclude tolls and surcharges too. Now, what does that mean? Well, that means that if there's a surge or if we go through a toll road, they will not get charged for that additionally. Now, of course, that does bring up the question, in particular with the toll. If a toll road is used, who's on the hook for that? Is it Uber or is it the driver? I would like to think it's Uber, but more often than not, it ends up being the driver. Now, there are some restrictions. Customers can't use the feature for trips to or from the airport or for rides. There may be mileage limits based on the city. For example, in some cities, the limit is 40 miles. And this is true. I mean, where I grew up, when we said that something was 5 miles away, we meant it was like 5 to 8 minutes away. But 5 miles away in LA, well, that could be 45 minutes. So not every mile is the same. Customers will be charged at a per minute rate for trips that go over the time limit or the per mile rate for trips that go over the mileage limit. The rates are prorated based on $50. And then it talks about, the testing. Now, here's the thing. This seems on the surface to be a step in the right direction. Hey, we're locking down someone's services for an hour. They're going to pay at least $50. And hey, let's say that whole thing takes only 35 minutes. Well, they get paid the full amount even if it took half the time. I mean, that's kind of nice. But granted, and I'm not in a position to say this anymore, but I'm sure there are other Uber tubers who, do continue to drive frequently and can put this testing in theory. I suspect there will be situations where not doing this and just driving regular rides will net you more money. I just think it will. If this is like scheduled during like a time when there's normally surge or when it's very busy, I could see this conceivably being less, especially when you factor in that, look, the riders will be charged $50 an hour, but Uber's still taking their cut. What's their cut going to be? Is it going to be $5, $10, $15? Or this could really be $35 an hour. You never know. We're going to have to see exactly what the rate looks like when this is all said and done. And yeah, and then of course there's that concern about the tolls. There's no proof here, or nothing says that driver is going to be responsible for the tolls. But again, you never know. This is Uber. They put the responsibility on all the drivers. They do not like to pay money. And there is one other restriction that I forgot to mention. You can't use this for the airports. So people who do airport runs and make a lot of money on them, because airport runs are the one thing on Uber that I think I would agree is still pretty consistently profitable when you get down to it. No one can use this on airport runs to try to save a buck. They have to pay the surge, they have to pay the tip if they want to, all that jazz. So anyway, this is basically Uber's pitch to drivers, that they will be offering more or less $50 an hour. But again, that's $50 that the rider is paying. So you don't know if you're going to pocket all of that, but it's kind of nice to see Uber for once trying to sweeten the pot for the drivers to get some business back. Like they're really pushing for this to be a thing. But anyway, I would like to know what you all think of this. Does this sound good to you, or does it sound like another UberCon? I'd love to know. Comment below. 482 if you made it to the end. Like, favorite, share, subscribe, and as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.